Sunday, right? We had a tradition where I'm not afraid to wear a helmet in front of you guys. So we had a tradition with every Halloween party. We would clean up and then we'd use the costumes we found and we'd all wear something, right? So Madigan had like 6 outfits on, I had a bunch, Campy had a bunch. Chris had a green army helmet on. We're like, all right, either you didn't clean up anything or you just love this helmet. He came out later, and for those of you that saw the picture of Chris with that funny looking mustache, that's where it came about. So from that time on, it was Sunday Fun Day. In our house, it was Sunday Fun Day. Chris wore his green helmet, sat on the couch, sometimes with clothes, sometimes without. But it was always fun, and it was always Sunday. So, all right. I'm gonna start off saying women are a lot nicer than men. And I've been waiting my whole life to do this. Yep, Chris, here we go. In all seriousness, beforehand, I want to say thank you to Mr. and Mrs. Borkwin. This is, it's been fantastic to meet your daughter, your other daughters, your son. You guys, it's clear that, why Chris and Al are so close, because obviously you've done a great job with her, and Chris is a lucky man. That helmet looks so small on your head. I also want to thank Mr. and Mrs. Lynch. They've been a huge part of my life. Mr. Lynch was at every single hockey event that we could possibly be at with 4 boys, which I don't know how you did it. And Mrs. Lynch is, if there was a St. Marjorie, she would be it. She had 4 boys. That woman was doing laundry when we woke up, when we went to bed, when we tried to sneak out. So my dad's a math teacher, so I did a couple numbers here, and I figured that with 4 boys, 5 sets of laundry a week, 20 years of living in the house, it's about 21,000 loads of laundry. So thank you, Mrs. Lynch, for making it So my name's Paul Valero. I've been best friends with Chris since the 1st grade, literally since the 1st grade. He's like a brother to me. I have a fantastic brother, but if I could have another brother, Chris is everything that you want that brother to be. The first time we met was going into 1st to 2nd grade. It was we moved into a new neighborhood, Country Mills West, and they're building houses. They got these foundations. They're about 25 feet in the air. My neighbor was Chris's cousin, still is, and he said, I'm gonna go meet my cousin. He lives in the neighborhood, so we go meet him. We're on our BMX bikes. And here's Chris on top of the foundation, 25 feet down. And I'm like, what's he doing up there? We're going in the middle of it. He goes, he thinks that if he puts a garbage bag over his head, it's gonna be like a parachute. So he's gonna go off this thing. We're like, he's gonna fall. He's like, he wants to do it, Paul. I'm like, all right, I'm out of here. I'm the new guy. So Chris goes off, and like everybody knows at the end of the story, he drops like a ton of bricks. He lands. We go look at his leg. One's sticking out one way, one's sticking out the other. I go home and get Joe Lynch. Joe Lynch gets his bike, goes over there, and Chris is looking at him, crying, looking for sympathy. He's like, get your ass up, Chris, and get home. Ride the bike home. That's a true story. But from that moment on, Chris has been my best friend, through good and bad. Whether we lived together or we lived further apart, we're about 0.2 miles in Country Mills West. Loudonville, Sienna, Amherst was about 60. Then we moved in Hoboken, we were about 5 steps, and now we're about 100 miles. And makes no difference if it's 5 steps or 100 miles. Chris is as good of a best friend as you can possibly have. So Chris, one of his abilities is that when you become friends with Chris and when he really embraces you as a friend, you're not just a friend, you're family, right? So you become Chris's family, he becomes part of your family. A testament to that is when he went to UMass, I started hanging out with these guys. Right away it was like I had a whole bunch of new brothers, and these guys are awesome, and they all welcomed Chris into their lives, and he welcomed them into his. So, there's 2 groups of families from home and from school, and you guys are awesome. Well, before we get into a few of Chris's stories, and I'll keep it quick, I hope. You look beautiful tonight. You're absolutely gorgeous, just from a personality standpoint. Obviously, you just look damn good tonight too. You're a great partner for Chris. We're lucky to have you. He's lucky to have you. And I think you said something last night, you know, Elle did a really good job of just giving Chris a piece of her mind in a very nice way. She said, Chris, my belly's fuller because of you, but my heart understands what it is to love, and thank you for that. And that's just, you know, a testament to you and how you're gonna make Chris better, and we're so fortunate to have you. So, first time I met Elle, she came over to our house. We had a Hoboken family, which is, you know, they're a group of people that have known each other for a long time. Elle comes into the scene and just fit in perfectly. It was great. I didn't know how serious they were at that point until I went to Chris's apartment 2 months later, and I'm looking around and he's not there, and I'm like, man, this place smells good. I go in the bathroom, I'm like, there's towels on the rack. I look around the house, I'm like, this place is decorated. It would be nice with a woman's touch. And Chris thinks he's like an interior decorator, but it's like, he's good. He's a lot better than me. I'm awful, but he's not that good. And this place looks fantastic. And I walk in his room, the bed's made. So I'm like, you know, he's serious. He's trying to impress her, and good for him. So, Elle, that's awesome, and thank you for rubbing that off on Chris, but I will tell you, I woke up this morning with him, right? Oh yeah, the hotel's room smelled like a bunch of dirty farts. There were towels on the floor. It looked like it was decorated like a sign of fraternity. There was there was, in the fridge at home, there was more than beer and wings, right? Like beer and wings at Chris's house, good beer, decent wings. There was no beer or wings in the room. We didn't have a refrigerator, but if you look down at Chris on the floor, he had beer and wings all over his face. So you've made a great impression, but you still got some work to do with him, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what else you make. So I think everybody would agree that knows Chris. There's 3 things about him that I've always loved, and I still continue to love. He's a great teammate. He's a great teammate, and I think a lot of these things will transfer over to his love as a husband and as a father. A great teammate, somebody who passes the ball, they have a winning attitude, they make teams better because of who they are and what they represent, and they're not afraid to share the spotlight. Chris is never afraid to share the spotlight, and this is how I know he's going to be a great husband. Chris has an unbelievable ability to make people laugh. 1996, graduating Shen class, Chris was the class clown. I mean, it was like Chris, so then it was everybody else. He won every magazine award from 1st grade to 6th grade. You know, you had those weird guys on stage like, if you sell 1,000 magazines, you're gonna get this. Chris won it every year. Every single year, Chris won it. And my mom's a 2nd grade teacher in a school that he was in, and she's like, you know, they on a limo afterwards, and it's really special, named in the paper. And she's like, Chris, don't you win this every year? And he's like, yeah. How do you do it? He goes, well, do you really want to know my secret? I tell him my brother can't come out because he's home really sick with this rare disease. And that the only way that I'm going to be able to get these magazines, and he's got a chance, you know, of making it long in life, is that if you buy like 10 magazines. So, you know, he was a salesman in art. It's not shocking. That's what he is right now. He's fantastic. But his ability to make you laugh. UMass, huge school, 27,000 people. Go there for the first time in October. They had buses driving me all over the place. Every bus we got on, every bus we got off, it was like, Lynchy, what's up? You know, he's a freshman. Freshman. He will make you laugh no matter what. And Chris, you know, in marriage, there's gonna be good times, there's gonna be bad times. But there's no doubt in my mind, during the bad times, you're gonna make Elle laugh, and that's so important. And you're gonna make the good times even better. So Chris, you know, in closing, his ability to be there when things matter is huge. It's not, you know, we're 100 miles away, 5 steps away. His ability to be there when it matters is most important. Get engaged, he's there. Get married, he's there. Have our first kid. There's nobody in the hospital except for my mom, my dad, my mother-in-law. Actually, Chris beat our mother-in-law. Of course my wife did. My lovely, beautiful wife. She was there, you know. He was there. Chris, you know, he knows when to be there. He never misses anything. He's just a great person, and Elle, you know, just all I have to say is you don't have to worry about a damn thing with Chris, because he's going to be there for all things that matters, and that's what makes him a great person. So I love you, Chris. You're like a brother to me. You're my best friend. You always have been. Elle, I'm so happy you have him. He has you. You guys make each other so much better, and I could finally turn the chapter of Chris not calling me needing anything. So everyone, raise your glasses for this beautiful couple. Cheers.
Awesome job, Paul. Awesome job.